It's time for Two Guys and a Goalie with Dustin Nielson, Matt Kassian, and the goalie, Joaquin Gage.
This is Two Guys and a Goalie. Right now, one Matt and a Goalie edition. Hopefully we'll have two Matts and a goalie coming up here as we're waiting for Matt Kassian. Matt Awanek, Joaquin Gage with you here live on Edmonton Sports Talk for Two Guys and a Goalie, which is presented by GS Construction, setting the industry standard for 50 years with quality in... Oh, I thought you laughed there for a second. You just sniffed.
Oh, no, I sniffed.
Efficiency and safety driving their success. I was like, why are you calling them out for 50 years? GS Construction has a foundation built on teamwork, and now they want you to become part of the team. Visit gsconstruction.ca and click Ready to Work, or visit their page at indeed.ca with the Next Person Up program at GS Construction. It's not just a job, it's a career. I talked to you in person now today. I just remembered that you and I spoke earlier today.
We did?
Morning show.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Yes.
Oh, my God. I'm
so memorable. Such a memorable appearance. I somewhat forgot about it. You forgot about it.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I thought you meant before, just now. Or something.
No, I haven't talked to anyone in the office.
He said, I talked to you today? Okay, yeah.
I think I said a hi to you. I think I had two highs to read. I don't think I've said a single word to Jay yet. I've spoken a few things to Zach. I had a couple words to Hernan. Trev, I've seen since 5:20 this morning, so he doesn't count.
Four straight shows. We got to give him applause here.
I'm good.
Well, hit the thing.
I don't know which one it is.
Oh, no.
Actually, there is no applause on that.
Yeah, Coop plays.
Oh, did he have? Oh, so he added one. Okay. I thought maybe it was over here. No, it was all different shows. Morning show with JMO and Trev. I forgot my keys.
You did?
I forgot my keys. They left them in the office.
Oh.
Aren't they attached to your car keys?
No.
Wow.
I have three separate keys. I have car keys on their own. I have my house keys, which are I keep very light, minimal, because when living downtown, you go walking places and stuff. I don't want a lot of keys to carry.
I
That's
understand
fair.
that.
Yeah.
Gets me inside my house. It also gets me to my parents, and that's it. And then I have work keys, full office keys. And I left them here yesterday. So at home, I'm 4:40 this morning. I'm looking around, I don't have my keys.
When they get the retinal scanners going at apartment buildings, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Or facial recognition?
Well, I could. It's connected to my phone, so I have forgotten my house key before, and I could dial and buzz myself in.
Yeah.
Then I'd have to have left my house unlocked.
Right.
Which sometimes I do.
Okay.
Not gonna lie.
Can you hold up a picture of yourself to your phone and it'll unlock though? That's what you don't want to do.
All for the facial recognition.
Yeah. I don't know if you can do that. Something to try after the show.
Maybe we'll need to. But I forgot my keys, so I got here early. I was sitting outside at 5:00.
Oh, geez.
And I was waiting for Trev, and then he showed up just after 5:20.
You didn't fall back asleep?
I was worried I was going to fall.
Yeah.
I was worried that I was just going to sit there and then also get really tired and then come in and just not want to do anything. So
What time does JMO roll in? Because he's an early bird.
5:17.
Nice.
Wow.
Because he called me a couple days ago. What time are you getting in? And I told him 5:15. It's about when I get here. And the last 2 days, he dead on right at that time. So
It was good.
I was surprised he actually wasn't here sooner. But I think because I told him, if I said a little after 5, he would have been here at 5.
It's great to hear JMO's voice in the mornings again, hey?
It's wonderful.
It's funny hearing you two so early as well, because for years I heard you guys, but it's so funny. At 12:60, I knew what time of day it was. I knew the day, usually from the bits. There was no need for a calendar at that point, right?
It was all set.
There's
there's Lowtide's voice.
Yeah.
It's sometime between 10 and 12 right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, here's the segment. Oh, it's 11 o'clock right now. Oh, Bruce McCurdy on. That means it's Wednesday.
If it was Tuesday and I didn't know or whatever, I'd hear Creed. Tuesday.
I had the better music on Tuesday.
What did you have? Didn't
Twang Tuesday.
Oh, you had Twang, but didn't you have Metal
Mondays?
Monday? Yeah.
It's the best thing ever.
That was terrible. Motown Mondays were good when I was with LT.
Yes. There was a few people that had great music. You were one. Always pick great music.
Maddie. I appreciate that. That's probably the only compliment you've given me this year.
Lieutenant Eric was the absolute best. And they had a folder of just weird music that we couldn't get anywhere else. And then eventually we had to change how we did our music and we couldn't play it anymore. But he had it. It was amazing.
That's a great hat, by the way. Man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
It's tight.
This is the Edmonton Sports Talk City Editions type Riverhawks inspired hat.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot available because I bought extra merch to sell once the new year hits. Sometime in January, I'll put up on our website for sale. I can't remember how many. I don't have a lot of these right now. I've got 10 left. That's it.
There's still? I thought you'd have none.
Why? Because I haven't put them up for sale.
Oh.
I haven't put them up for sale. Because we did the store orders and everyone got their stuff. But I ordered extra merch to sell on the side after.
Oh, did you?
And I'm holding on to 10 Riverhawks hats at the moment that will eventually be sold.
Well, after you leave, after this show, there'll be 9. Possibly 8.
We got an Oiler game tonight. Did you know that?
We do?
Oilers, Utah, 7 o'clock. GCLT's Oil Stream pregame show, 6 o'clock. Hernan, Tommy, and I'm guessing Cass. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's 10 after. I don't think Cass is joining.
Not today, but pregame.
Yeah, he's on pregame.
Yeah, okay, he is on pregame.
And to no one's surprise, Jesse Puljujarvi cleared waivers.
Oh, thank you. I completely forgot about that. Are you not okay? Actually, I'll bring you in quickly here, Hernan. Mm-hmm. Are you not surprised? Are you that there wasn't a chance that there would be a bottom team that would just take that chance on him?
I mean, because when you pick them off waivers, they got to stay on your roster for what? Is it like a month or so?
I've been meaning to look at these ruals for a while now.
Well, but then who was it with the Golden Knights that they picked up from the Oilers?
Some weird thing that.
Who's the player that was? Why am I forgetting?
Big tall guy. What's his name?
Somebody will tell us right away. But the Golden Knights were able to put him on waivers the next day.
Yeah. But then you had to go through it again, and the original team could pick you up again or something like that. I don't know. All I know is I went through waivers once, and I know how Jesse Puljujarvi feels right now.
Just once?
Just once.
For me, it's always the same, right? It's just, he plays well for a few games, and I know the analytics and the armchair GMs all think he's this great player, but there's a reason why he's on waivers. There's a reason why he can't stick with the team, and there's a reason why he's cleared. So, and it's not personal. Jesse's a great guy. We all know that. He was here. The fans loved him. Seems like a great dude, great teammate. But it's just, I think you said it yesterday. We'll probably see him in Europe soon. Dominating.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that you got to, he scored some goals this year that were highlight, real goals. He danced a few, there's something there as a player, but it just, at the NHL level, it just didn't seem to work out. I watched some highlights of him in Oulu, Karpat, where he's from. It's way up north in Finland. And I don't know. Sometimes players' games are more beneficial on the bigger ice. And I thought watching him out there, he had more time, more room. He's big and lanky, so when he gets a chance, he can kind of use that big frame. And so you see that in Europe, and you're like, wow, that'd be something in the smaller ice, the way he can dominate physically and things like that. But yeah, just never really. A lot of tools, just the toolbox wasn't there to put the tools in.
And I know I'm seeing some messages. I'll get out of here right away, guys. And people are saying they're surprised Montreal didn't pick him up. Nothing bugs me more when there's they play junior together and they're good. That doesn't matter when it comes to the pro game, guys. Connor Brown was supposed to be McDavid's running mate. Remember when Marc-Antoine Pouliot got picked up by Pittsburgh? Oh, him and Crosby were awesome in junior.
Dominic Cahoon. Because him and Leon Draisaitl played together when they were 9-year-olds or something.
That doesn't matter.
It was one of my favorite. These guys played together so long ago in this most obscure league as underagers, and it's going to work in the NHL now.
Oh, that's funny.
Raphael Lavoie.
That
was the one we were thinking of. I just to me, it was like Buffalo. That was the one I was looking at. You suck at picking players. You suck at player development and identifying talent. Do the opposite. Do the George Costanza almost. You don't want to. Maybe give him a shot. because it's just not working. So I thought maybe someone might take a chance with him, but in the end, I'm also not really surprised that he clears waivers, and we'll see what's next for Jesse Puljujarvi. But yeah, there's probably a very good chance that he's off to Europe now, and we don't see him in the National Hockey League anymore. The Blackhawks are walking through the streets, I think, getting to Wrigley Field.
Okay.
Because we've got the Winter Classic going today.
Is that today or tomorrow? I thought it was tomorrow.
No.
Is that the worst Winter Classic with these two teams?
Hernan asked if that was the worst Winter Classic between these two teams. If we're talking Winter Classic, let me look at the Winter Classics. There's way too many. There's just way too many of them. No, it's today. Why isn't it tomorrow?
Usually it is tomorrow, isn't it? It's
Usually,
on
it
New
used
Year's
to be
Day.
January 1st.
Yeah.
I wonder if they didn't want to go up against college playoffs.
But they have in
I know.
previous years.
Well, not this extent. Like, this is a new college playoffs type thing. But they've gone up against the Rose Bowl before, so that shouldn't be a big deal. Maybe they think that New Year's Day isn't working. They moved to New Year's Eve.
I mean, yeah, I guess we'll have it on. When does it start? It's got to start soon. It's in Wrigley?
Take a look. Wrigley. Chicago's 0-4 in Winter Classics.
Oh, really?
Yes, I noticed that during the hangout today.
I think the most exciting thing about this whole thing was Biz Nasty taking draws against Bedard.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock it gets going. History of Winter Classics, of just Winter Classics. We had Pittsburgh, Buffalo. That was when Buffalo was good. Detroit Blackhawks, Flyers, Bruins, Caps, Pens, Rangers, Flyers. I'm just trying to find one that would have been Preds, Stars. That could have been one where, like, there's a lot of people that just wouldn't have cared. Or Blues Wild from 2022. Who would have cared about Blues Wild?
No one.
That just screams not sexy.
You know what? Like, could you could do it in a domed stadium, wouldn't you? Couldn't
They've
you?
done it.
Have they done it in a domed stadium?
Dallas, Texas. Oh, no, they did it in the Cotton Bowl. I thought they did it somewhere else. Have they not done the domed in the States? They have not done it in the States,
Yeah.
but they played BC Place for the Heritage Classic.
Oh,
But that's not an outdoor game then.
was it in BC Place?
Yeah, it was in BC Place and the roof was closed. Tommy was there and he said the roof was closed.
Oh,
It's not an outdoor game now. At least you have to open up the roof.
I think the most memorable one, obviously the first one here, the first Heritage Classic, where you had the Montreal, the Hall of Famers playing against one another, which was great, and the one in where was that in California? There, Tahoe, where
Lake Tahoe.
with the Avalanche when they had those sweet uniforms with the Quebec Nordiques. That was really cool because it actually looked like an outdoor game. You know, like the stands were makeshift. There wasn't a lot of people, but the backdrop of that was just stunning.
Well, that's the key. To me, the thing about the NHL was I always felt that they needed to limit how many games they did.
Yeah.
One a year. Make it special. If you miss this year's Winter Classic, you have to wait 365 days to see the next one. And maybe I'm okay with every so years at sprinkling the Heritage Classic to get the Canadian market involved. Because really the Winter Classic should involve Canadian markets because you're trying to appeal to an American audience. Beyond that, that's it. Enough with all these stadium series. And then there's like 6 games one weekend or something outdoors. And it just lost all meaning. But I always felt also go to picturesque places. Go to
Louise.
Lake Tahoe. Go to Lake Louise.
Yeah.
Central Park is the one I will always throw out there. Find a way to get it done with Central Park. I don't care that you don't sell tickets or you're going to put up temporary seats and you're not going to sell that many tickets. It's the imagery that you could sell forever and it's the marketing of it.
Throw it on Netflix.
Throw it on Netflix. I really want to see a game in those type of markets.
Yeah.
And like those type of things. They've talked about like National Park in Washington and stuff like that.
That'd be great.
Go take this overseas to those type of things.
Oh, an overseas one. That would be neat. I wouldn't mind that.
Like, and before everything happens with the invasion of Ukraine, there's like getting one in the Red Square.
Yeah.
They've done it. I think it was a KHL All-Star game in Red
really?
Square.
I didn't even know that.
So there's just way too many. But Hampton Steve saying, the move to avoid the 3 college football games tomorrow.
Okay.
Well, you've got a college football game today.
It's just kind of I don't know what I guess is there a rivalry between St. Louis and Chicago? It's something or is that just something they've manifested just for this game? Like I watched kind of a lead up, they have the Hard Knocks type of thing, the lead up to this game, and they said how these two cities kind of hate each other, but it's multiple sports. I guess it's not just
the Cubs and the Cardinals hate each other.
Yeah,
there's a big rivalry with those two.
But hockey's not.
I don't ever get black. I've always like if there's anything a little more south. I always felt like there's a little bit more of Blackhawks Preds for some reason.
I just felt the biggest rivalry for the Blackhawks over the past couple decades has been the Kings. I thought just because of those playoff battles, right? Those were
recently.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would. Is it not the Red Wings like all time?
Yeah, that's who it would be.
I think they've had that game before because again, Chicago's played in like every second one. They just keep playing. It's 3:00 today, so you don't get it during your show. You get a watch during your show. Islanders Leafs is going on right now. And don't forget that. You got Canadians Golden Knights at 1:00.
Wow.
And then you can watch some college football.
Really?
Bama losing to Michigan 16-10.
Really?
Michigan got up to a 16-0 lead after the first quarter. I don't know what was going on there.
Must be stealing signs.
We've got sidetracked there a little bit. Oilers, Utah, tonight, 6:00 is the Oil Stream pregame show. A little bit of changes. Bob Stauffer had lines yesterday from Oilers practice. It had Jeff Skinner as a 13 forward. But today, Chris Knobloch said Jeff Skinner will be back in the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers and doing some line shuffling. It was an optional morning skate today, so we don't know what the lines are going to look like. Tommy did say that it was Nurse, Kulak, Stetcher, Emberson, Jeff Skinner, Colson, Ryan, and both goalies on the ice for the optional skate. Stuart Skinner getting the start in net for the Oilers. The right move to put Jeff Skinner back in the lineup after sitting for a game here?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I don't know how much more motivation you need to send to a player by limiting ice time. That's the ultimate. And I mean, I guess one game up in the press box watching, you hope that a little bit of a fire's lit. But, you know, it's a player with a specific skill set that will only work within the top two lines. I think he's not a grind you down type of guy. It's just not in his DNA. It's not how he had success as a player in the NHL. He's a skilled guy that can score goals, and those types of play. He's not a driver, but in the past he's been a really good complementary player to other skilled hockey players. So he needs to play with other guys that can get him the puck in certain areas. But someone had mentioned weeks ago that while his time in Buffalo, and even I remember Craig McTavish talking about him. He was saying he remembered when Craig was assistant coach in St. Louis, they were playing the Sabres, and he was like, Jeff Skinner completely tore apart the St. Louis Blues with his skill level. It was a joke how good Jeff Skinner played that game. And Mac T was kind of alluding to the fact like this is going to be something special for the Oilers just from what he witnessed he's capable of at a high level. So right then I'm like, okay, but we just haven't seen that yet. And I don't know. Let me ask you this, Maddie, because Hernan and I were talking before, and the biggest topic of conversation has been coaches for the Edmonton Oilers seem to go to that nuclear option so quickly. And Reed sent out the talking about, do the Oilers really have a second line? But how much do you think this falls back on the coach where, I mean, he wants to keep his job too, right? So the default to go back to Connor and Leon, everyone says, okay, he's going to this. And I mean, we critique it, but what happens if he does stick to the norm and keeps rolling the same lines and gets the same result? Does that put his employment in jeopardy? Or the fact that you just keep going with Connor and Leon, that kind of saves yourself from getting into the discussions of being fired, because it's always looked at as a positive thing to put these guys in a position to help your team win when needed, I guess.
I don't think Knobloch would be looking at anything on his job. because I think he's safe no matter what for this season. There's nothing that, like, they're not at risk of missing the playoffs. They're not at risk of falling out, barring some sort of types of injuries that come in. So then it comes down to playoff success. And I think for Knobloch, he doesn't know what his team looks like after the deadline. When is Evander Kane going to come back, if he comes back? What other moves are Stan Bowman is going to have? And really, for him to lose his job this year, it would have to be a first-round exit, I think, would be the only way I don't even think it would happen. I think if the Oilers lose to the LA Kings in the first round of the playoffs, I don't think they're making a coaching change. I think they're rolling it back and they're going with it again next year. It'd just be a little too soon, and I don't think Jeff Jackson and Stan Bowman would want to do that again. Like that just happened so many times with this franchise. And like, I'd be alarmed by that if they actually did that. Straight up, because Knobloch has been a great coach in the course of 2024.
Yeah,
they're one of the, if not the best team, one of the top 2 or 3 teams in all of the National Hockey League. I don't know why you'd be worried about your job if you're Chris Knobloch.
Yeah, and I think he's done things, and I look at last year, he made some very difficult decisions. The one that stands out right now is putting Calvin Pickard in the playoffs, and every button he pushed seemed to work. Taking Fogle out of the lineup, him coming back in and having success. Like everything he touched turned to gold last year. But it I don't understand why they did this. The de facto was always just to go back to Connor and Leon all the time.
Because it's so easy.
It is.
And it works.
It works. Yeah.
Well, largely it works.
Largely it works, I guess.
And when you have that option, like, it's hard not to go with it.
Yeah.
It's hard not to play it. It's right there in front of you. You just have to go 97-29. and good things happen usually.
Yeah. And there's puck possession, and the other team usually doesn't have the puck for a while.
And you could always go back to, you could separate the lines the next game. You could do it the next game. And you could go to the next game. But you always know that you could bring those two back together. Like it's the break glass in case of emergency, but you can do it every game. You could have a game where you have your lines out there, and the moment you realize, I don't like what I'm doing, break glass, okay, you two back together.
Yeah, I'm constantly, what comes to the back of my mind is the Derek Ryan once Woodcroft took over and said it's nice because now everyone has a defined role and feels more responsibility each game working towards victories.
Is this maybe then a message from Chris Knobloch to Stan Bowman where he keeps doing this and goes, you need to go get me another top 6 winger. I need to, what I have right now has not worked. What I've had to build in a full top 6 has not worked. And until you build me or get me another winger, I am going to continually put these guys back together when I need to because I have nothing else. I want to build these lines, but it's not working. So I will keep going back to these. Get me a winger.
But he has, lurking in the weeds is Evander Kane too, right? So you have another top 6 guy eventually. I think that the focus, although, Darnell Nurse has been great this year, Kulak's been great, I still think they need to focus on another D. It's not a top 6 forward.
I'm with you. If the Oilers can make one move at a deadline this year, it has to be a defenseman.
Yeah. It has to be.
Because, and there's some people that will be like, this is a tire narrative, but in effect for this season, Evander Kane is, in effect, a trade deadline acquisition.
Yeah. Just like he was when he was injured, right?
He hasn't played all year. He comes back. There's an extra body you're adding to your team without having to give up an asset. Or, and look, flip side, depending when he comes back, he's also a guy that you can trade after March 1st, I believe it is, or something like that.
Yeah.
So there's that bit where you can maybe move on from him and get an asset. Who knows what fully plays out there? I would expect that that's not the thing. It would be him in the lineup. So you go get the defenseman, and then what you're adding to your roster from what we've seen so far is a forward in Evander Kane and a defenseman who is player X. The only question I have is I don't know who that player defender is.
I know.
I don't think there's a good name out there that has popped up that you go, that's the right fit for the Edmonton Oilers.
I think you got to wait until the playoff picture kind of settles. But, this is when you watched Ken Holland. These are the kind of discussions I think GMs cultivate from the beginning of the year. Like he was speaking with Poyle right from the start of the season. Hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And Poyle was like, well, I think we're looking at playoffs and things. But they were speaking about Ekholm a lot. And that was surprising because that was completely off everyone's radar. I didn't think he would get traded from Nashville.
A minute before that trade, many people wanted Ken Holland fired because he did nothing that week. I think that was the year Bob Stauffer went on the broadcast ripping Ken Holland for not doing anything.
That was with me.
Was it?
Yeah.
I forgot. Then the day or the moment that trade went down, Ken Holland was a genius and what a great move. Not a single person saw that coming.
No, yeah.
But the Oilers kind of need that type of trade this year.
Oh, they do.
Because you look at the UFA list for this upcoming year, it's not a list that you look at and go, there's that player there for the Edmonton Oilers. But I'm with you. Defense is the spot that I think the Oilers are going to have to go target over the course of the next 2 months. Because now it's we're in the full trade deadline discussions here now. Because there's always that team that makes a move late January type thing. And it starts getting the ball rolling of certain trades. Who's going to be those first teams to, one, as you said, be the sellers, but also who's going to be the first teams that are going to go and bite the bullet and make the moves? Darren Dreger, last Monday, when I threw out who's more likely to make a move quicker, Buffalo or Nashville, he quickly jumped in and said, what about Vancouver? So keep an eye on Vancouver for some sort of move happening at some point.
Something has to be done.
Jim Rutherford doesn't sit on his hands.
Well, I wonder what Vegas is going to do, too. They'll do something.
Oh, they always do something. Who's the biggest name this year? They'll somehow add them.
Who's the biggest name that no one talked about? That's what Vegas will go get.
Hey, how does Hurdle doing this year? I haven't even looked. 36 games, 24 points. Not bad.
No.
He's -9, though. Everyone above him is, I know, plus minus. But Eichel's plus 21, Mark Stone's plus 16, Barbashev's plus 11, Hurdle's -9.
Yeah.
I love deadline talk. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's well, you have to, it's right. It'll be here before you know it, too.
March 7th. It's just over 2 months away.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I was just kind of looking because the team that I keep an eye on, which possibly to the chagrin of a lot, is the Calgary Flames. Because again, they're a good team, but they're on the cusp. And to get better, I don't think you can just do it through the draft. You'll just be waiting too long, and some of the talent that they have will age out eventually. But they're sitting at 41 points, 4 points out of third in the Pacific behind Edmonton, 17, 12, and 7 on the year. That's a pretty good year for this team. Plus, I think they have the Calder Trophy winner with Dustin Wolf. I know Celebrini's good, but if somehow, and this is a long shot, I realize that, but if somehow Calgary can get into the playoffs, I mean, they're 1 point out of a playoff spot.
Oh, if they could get into the playoffs, if you're the Jets or the Golden Knights or whoever's going to be the top of the division, you're excited.
Licking your chops.
You want that.
But aren't you licking your chops if it's Vancouver too?
No.
They're so
if they get to the playoffs, well, the one thing they still have is Thatcher Demko,
who hasn't been good this year.
Sure, but they also have that playoff experience.
He'll get better by playoffs.
As of right now, like I'm still not sold on the Calgary Flames. I think there's a fall off coming here. Is it a big one? No, I'm not seeing them all of a sudden drop.
I've been saying fall off for 3 months though.
It's a long season. We're not even at the halfway point.
I know.
Come out strong, come out hot. Like the one thing I was like, how much has Dustin Wolf played?
He's played good, man.
Well, but here's the thing. This is where I'll give the Flames credit here because I thought this was the case. They've split it. They're even 50-50 between Vladar and Wolf for goaltending.
Yeah.
Like so it's not like Wolf is getting in a position where they're going to tire him out too soon. They're spacing him out very well.
And I think that's important for a young guy, just not to have with the ball like the Askarov. I worry about him a little bit now that that he just gets the legs played off him on a poor team and just has that John Gibson kind of years where you just put so much mileage on him, and he has to play so well to win.
Okay, hold up. When did we add a chair next to the arcade machine to sit on?
Oh my God. That's I don't know what.
I feel like that's cheating. That's performance enhancers right there, Jay. The chair's performance enhancer. The track and field, I believe that is. Performance enhancer right there. Wow. And you could just see him tapping away right now. And I'm
is track and field become the biggest game?
Not on the machine.
Come on, it's on all the time now.
Okay, but here's the thing. Dusty, we got the machine. Dusty was here for a single day. I wasn't here for that day.
Yeah.
There hasn't been time for us in Tecmo to take it over again and make it ours. I need Zach to move here so I can grab this. I want to see when he's clicking the button. And I was actually texting Yukon yesterday.
Oh.
Because I told him, like, we need to start getting the plans for the Tecmo. So right now, you guys have it. But enjoy this. Because once Dusty returns and we're all here, Tecmo is going to start... Like, here's the breakdown how it's going to go.
Okay.
The morning will be Tecmo. Afternoons will turn into whatever the heck you guys play. Because Dusty, Hernan before his show could get games in. Dusty, between his shows, will get games in.
You don't think Dusty's hanging around?
Once you and Hernan on, or Dusty and I, that's when him and I will be able to play the one game. But then throughout the course of, like, 1 o'clock on, it's going to be your guys' whatever you guys play.
When's Uke coming in?
Well, we got to figure this out. He's worried that Reed was taking over his team.
Oh.
And I had to tell him, no, that you guys are playing this track and field game. And Jay is just cheating right now.
I got to get my cheerleader outfit for Uke.
You're going to cheer for his team?
I'm Team Uke, yeah.
He's the Sherwood Park Grind. No, I'm the Grind. He's the Sherwood Park Elite.
Oh.
Dusty's the Hampton Goats. Hernan's the Chilean Sea Bass, and I'm the Northside Grind because I'm big at running in that game.
I'm worried about Hernan in this because
you saw me beat him.
Yeah, well, I beat him in hockey the one time, and he's like the Yessi Puljujarvi. Just can't get that confidence going.
This is 2 guys and a goalie. Just going to be Matt and a goalie today. The other Matt didn't join us today. Presented by GS Construction. I do want to get into the Paris Jewelers inbox here, 780-218-9999. How effective do you think Kane will be when he comes back? Do you worry that he might have a hard time catching up to the pace of game late in the season and into the playoffs? Would that be a concern for you? Like how easy do you think it is to miss out on an entire season and then jump in when everyone's played that whole season and have their legs fully under them?
Very difficult, but I think one area that you really I think he'll get up to speed a lot quicker is because of the physicality of his play. Like when he hits guys in the corner, he hits to hurt, and it's that side of things. Like how many times you hear when you haven't played in a while, get in there, take a hit, give a hit. Take a hit to make a play, those types of things. I think he'll get up to speed a lot quicker because we kind of saw that after his wrist injury. When he came back, he still played that physical style, and I was quite impressed, actually, how he did not look like the pace of the game. I mean, the first game, it kind of looked like a little bit behind. Of course, there were some puck handling issues and things like that, but I thought he was able to get his game back to not quite his top level, but close to his top level quite soon. Then sometimes you see other players sit out for months and maybe more of a skilled game that it takes them a lot longer. So I don't have it's going to be hard, don't get me wrong, but I think with Evander Kane, it'll get up to speed a lot quicker than say some other players.
Yeah, the point that you had of the other injury, he did struggle coming back.
Yeah,
last year. But I saw him at a restaurant a few nights ago.
Oh, did you?
He looked fine. Looked great.
Yeah, he looks awesome. He's a good-looking guy.
He was enjoying life, it looked like. We're at a wonderful restaurant.
Yeah.
Place with great food. So
I saw him up in the press box the other day. Oh, about a month ago. He looked good. Like he had like the candy cane suit on or whatever it was. And yeah, he looked like he was moving okay. Like he wasn't like hunched over and labored in any fashion. But what do they say, March now that he's
Yeah, I
scheduled?
think the last was March, which is the right move by the Edmonton Oilers.
Yes.
Like, do not be ready beforehand. Do not be ready before the trade deadline. It should be like, oh, Evander Kane's resuming skating on March 15th. And then I don't know if they can manage. I don't know the full rules. If you can manage a Bakersfield conditioning stint, I think you try to get a Bakersfield conditioning stint.
You throw that in there. For sure.
It's not a punishment or anything. Just go get your legs under you, start getting ready, and then he's ready to go. And maybe there's 1 or 2 games left in the regular season.
Perfect.
Boom, he goes in the lineup. Perfect time to sit like McDavid or Leon. Yeah. Get them there a little bit of rest for the playoffs. He can get going, and boom, ready to go. He goes. If he's back any sooner, the Oilers are dropping the ball on this one.
Yeah.
Straight up.
So what you're saying is you should have Tanya Harding him slightly at the restaurant? It's Jeff Galooly. It wasn't Tanya Harding. Was it Jeff Galooly? Is that the guy's name?
You're asking the wrong person.
Oh, okay.
I know of the story. I don't know the names. So Evander, I'm doing this for the sake of the club. Just.
Oh, that'd be good.
That'll go over well. I'll come in. I come in Monday. So everyone, Evander Kane's going to be out a little bit longer. Inside information.
But we've lost Maddie 4 to 6 months for assault.
But it was for the team. It's for the team. If you want to post my bail, I've got a GoFundMe going right now to help this. Actually, that would be an interesting one. If I was put in jail but had a bail set, but I did it for the sake of the Oilers.
Oh, my God.
But there's a chance to put me away and people don't have to deal with me for a couple of months.
Maddie, there'd be a Edmonton Oilers 50-50 at that point.
Do they reward me, though, for helping them, or do they accept the fact that I'm away for a few months?
No.
And take it, or do they hey, all right, we don't have to deal with Maddie. Although he did a good thing, he's gone for 6 months and we don't have to hear from him.
No.
The city rejoices.
The 50-50 has started. We get the funds to hire you the best criminal defense team, and you're out. Easy. I was going to say OJ, but you don't want to. I don't want to.
Let's not go there. Let's get to Hire It or Fire It, which is brought to you by GS Construction. They're hiring now. Become a part of their great team today by visiting gsconstruction.ca. Their page on indeed.ca. For the past 50 years, the foundation of GS Construction has been built on efficiency, quality, and safety. Take your career to the next level. Join the team at GS Construction today. Oilers, Utah tonight. Prior to that, though, we do got Canada taking on USA at the World Juniors. Are you worried about this? Because here's the thing. Huss on the lock shop doesn't want a lot of people to really know. He picked the U.S.
Did he?
Yeah.
Man,
I gotta go check the line
it just seems like everyone's talking about the construction of this team and how it didn't work. I believe Schaefer is the kid's name that they're really missing that got injured. I mean, I love the fact that they're underdogs. I think it's great. That takes a little bit of pressure off these guys, because how many times every single year it's these guys should win the gold, and now there's rumblings, well, they can't. So I like that. I think that gives a little bit more juice to these Canadian kids to go out there and have success. The part of me is a little bit upset that the Oilers play tonight, because New Year's Eve, for years, it was either Canada-Russia, or Canada-US. It was just a huge World Junior game. I was usually over at a friend's place or my brother-in-law or whatever, and that's what we watched, and it was fun and stuff. But no, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I'll obviously have eyes on 2 games, but I have a tough time saying Canada's completely out of it. I think they'll probably win tonight.
Okay, hired or fired, because I didn't even say that for the first part. Hired or fired if Canada does not medal this year and they go back-to-back years without medaling. There should be big changes with Hockey Canada from a hockey perspective. I don't want to go, obviously there's changes that are needed and still needed with behind the scenes and with the, everything else that's gone on with Hockey Canada. But in terms of hockey, that there's a bigger, hire it or fire it that we need. If Canada doesn't medal again, there needs to be real changes of how we approach building teams.
I'm going to say hire it, just because when I listen to Hello Hockey on the weekends with Belzy and Tommy, and they're talking about the state of junior and the U.S. development program, and the Alberta Junior Hockey League, the BC Junior Hockey League, all these entities that just seem like they're not coming together as one and doing the best for the player. It seems quite selfish. everywhere. And I'm not fully versed in everything that's gone on, but it does seem like Hockey Canada is trying to take their nets and go home, and you can't have that. To me, that's absolutely ridiculous. So, something has to be done. If you're saying if they don't medal this year, they need new, fresh ideas to help kind of create and cultivate junior hockey and the development of young players, because you look at some of the scores of these games, there's not a lot of blowouts anymore. And a lot of countries are getting a lot better.
It seems like there's a lot more parity.
And that's fine. I'm not saying Canada should win 11-1 against other countries. Like, I turn those games off. I don't want to watch those. But I also want Canada to win. And it looks like, when you see other countries play them well like this, something has to change.
Right now, early, puck drop just happened. Latvia, Finland, they're underway. Canada, U.S. 6 o'clock later tonight. Swiss beat Kazakhstan 3-1. They're now through. And Czech Swedes today. That's
nice.
Going to be a big game. That's going to be a big one. That gets going at 3 o'clock. So right when you're done, you got the Winter Classic, you got the Czechs and the Swedes. You're set up for a great New Year's night.
I got to go carry my other compatriots there, Gene and Bob, this evening.
Oh, you're on the broadcast tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna. Did you give them the socks?
Yes. Yeah, but I was trying to give it to him and they didn't. And then Gene, so this is the thing. I gave him the thing. I go, you can open those. He goes, oh, no.
Have you talked about it on DST yet?
No.
Gager took 2 pairs of socks from EST that were going to our Nasty Club members to give to Gene and Bob.
So I was going to give them on the broadcast, and Bob was like, oh, there's props. And I was like, okay, whatever, Bob. And then so afterwards I go, okay, guys, here, I got you some stuff. He goes, oh, great. And then Gene said, thanks. And he put them to the side, and I said, "Oh, you know what? You don't have to wait till Christmas, guys. You can open them." And then, so Bob was very gracious and said, "Thank you very much." Hopefully, Bob, I know you're listening. You better be wearing those things tonight. But Gene, the next game, it was Christmas, and he had those things, and he pulled up and he had my socks. So I thought he was going to open them on air, but he didn't. So, but he did send me on Christmas a big thank you with a picture of the socks and stuff. So. We'll see. Hopefully, if they're wearing them, I mean, everyone wants to see Gene's legs, and I know people want to see Bob's as well. So hopefully, they're wearing those socks.
I will say this: Gene will wear those socks at one point in his life.
Oh yeah,
he will. That's the type of guy he is.
Yeah.
I'm going to bug Bob every time I see him now. But in the way, hey, Bob, have you tried those EST socks at Gager?
Yeah.
Or were they comfy? Like I'm gonna until like he tells me like. Do you have are you wearing them right now?
Yeah.
I mean, because I want to know if he's ever worn them.
Yeah.
My guess is he'll never wear them.
No,
he'll never wear them.
Oh,
So I want to be I want to be surprised. Or I love a day where Bob's like, I go up to Bob, are you wearing the socks? And it's like,
and then he just pulls
have
up.
a look, you know?
It's great.
I'd lose my mind. It'd be almost as great as the 2 times that Bob joined EST on the Hangout and on the Oil Stream.
That would be great if he sat in Tommy's chair and had the socks on in the Hangout one day.
I would love to get Bob on the Hangout one day. I've told him this before. Like, he even walked away and he was like, we got to talk Oilers. I'm like, we don't have to talk Oilers. If the Oilers do not want me to talk Oilers, I could talk Alabama and SEC football with you, Bob, for 2 hours. Actually, here, I'll break it down to an hour each. We will talk Bama and SEC football for an hour. Then we'll talk U of A football and hockey for an hour, Bob. I don't need to talk hockey with you. Oilers. If you want to talk Oilers, we can. But I will bring you on, and you won't get in trouble for anything you say in the National Hockey League because we won't talk about it.
Yeah, no NHL talk, and
it would be
great.
Yeah. Yes. Let's talk SEC football. Let's go through every single team. Let's preview the SEC next year for 2025, Bob.
I love it.
That's all I want to do. It'd be so much fun.
I just wanted to. I looked this up just to Dustin Wolf, 18 games played, 11 wins, 5 losses, goals against of 2.7 with a 9.12 save percentage with 2 shutouts. That's pretty impressive for a rookie.
and he like didn't he play a little bit last year?
Did he play a game or two? Maybe. But this guy's been in like.
Yeah, he only played a game last year.
Yeah.
He won it.
Yeah.
He had a .958 save percentage in that game.
It's nice to see.
No, he played
goalies.
17 games. No, he played one game in 22-23. Last year he played 17 games.
Oh, did he? Okay.
He was 7-7-1 with an .839 save percentage.
I like the fact that they're a smaller goaltender is getting a chance. This 6'6" stuff is crazy.
Were you considered then a smaller goaltender?
No, I was considered a big guy.
Were you?
Yeah, but it was different. There was only a few that were. I guess I was kind of average at that point. You had your behemoths. But everyone was quite big anyway, but it ranged between 6 feet and I would say 6'3". Now it's like 6'4" to 6'7". These guys are just monsters.
I only talked about this hangout. We only got a few minutes left. Dusty sent a long email in the Spite League. To all the owners. This is how long the email is.
Oh my God.
He wrote a full email. And I don't know how much he wants me, I would be allowed to read on the air. I read part of it on the Hangout today. I'm going to save that for him for his victory lap when he comes back on Monday.
Well, I saw his tweet on Twitter there. Did you see my response to him?
I think I did.
He posted his results, but then I posted the results of the F1 pool.
Oh, no.
Stating maybe you should have put more effort into this league because he was basically Nicholas Latifi this year.
I'm coming for that league next year.
Are you?
I'm not happy with you.
Why not?
Because I don't like how you did the constructors. And I'm not going into
it. Wouldn't have mattered anyway.
What do you mean it wouldn't have mattered anyway?
I won.
Yeah, I should have finished third.
Third
in the constructors.
God, your millennialism is showing.
It should have been third in the constructors.
Can someone put together a participation medal for Matty right now?
I'm sorry.
He's mad he didn't win, but he wants the little trophy.
I'm not asking for the trophy this year. I'm not asking for that at all. I just know I should have been the third in constructors. Just like it's nice to win bronze and stuff sometimes.
I think you did. I have to look.
But you didn't. You do it in a different way. At one point, I wasn't, and I wasn't liking that. But so next year, my mission was to come out and attempt to win this
and get a participation medal.
No,
I guess
I'm taking this all. I'm going to take this all. I'm going to study. I'm going to work real hard. I'm going to crowdsource it. I have ways. Reddit, baby.
It was just a masterful performance by me.
It was. I'm not trying to take that away from you. And I'm not saying I'm in you or Cass's category this year. I was the best of everyone else.
Yeah, you were.
I will say. So here's Dusty's part of his thing. I take great pleasure this morning in writing this message as a way to recap the most dominant playoff run in history, following up 164 points in the semifinal with 170 in this final to put an exclamation point on a no-doubt championship season. Is 454 points in 3 playoff matchups good? I'd like to thank you, the commissioner, and the 9 people who voted against giving me best player available with the 11th overall pick for the motivation I needed to go all in and walk to my 3rd title in the last 8 years. Thank you, Vinny, for leaving Neighbors for me with the 2nd overall pick. His 27 points in the final certainly helped, but mind you, he could have had 0 and I still would have won. I want to go. Thank you to the entire league, myself included, for passing on Brock Bowers multiple times before I selected him with the 32nd overall pick, even though I already had Travis Kelce on my roster. Bowers finished with 10 points in the finals, but even without them, I still would have won. Just wrote out this long, absolute email, just going after some people. Did say that in the future, maybe if a owner for some reason can't execute a pick in time, we just give him the best player available, and then ended that this league, like all other leagues, has needed a villain for a long time. Now we have one. So,
Well,
he did it. He did it. He absolutely crushed it. It was a very impressive performance this week, or this last little run. And I got to find a way to how to do an EST 30 for 30 short on this. Like I want like a 6-minute long documentary. We sit Dusty down in a room. He talks us through his emotions of that draft day and how it turned into anger. Went through try to convince some other owners in the league like to maybe come in. I don't know if we'll be able to convince them all to get their side of the story and release just this full like I want you want to know he would have. In that thing, he could have his. Now he's not an MJ guy, but he could have that. I took it. I took it personally moment.
Oh,
like just Dusty sitting there with the Donaire, like it was a cigar and tequila. He'll have a Donaire and a chocolate milk or something next to him, or a spiced rum and coke, and he'll have it.
And you'll pass him the iPad
and show him the replay of the draft and his missed pick, and he'll look at him like. And that's when I took it personally.
Oh, that'll be good. I'll watch that.
We'll have to. Maybe that's what I'll get the new intern to work on that we have coming next week.
Sweet.
Next Wednesday, he'll be here. Gager, this was fun.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this.
No.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, buddy.
Enjoy.
Go home and get some sleep.
I've got things to do today. It'll be good. And it's college playoff time. It's wonderful. It's a great time.
Big plans tonight, or?
Go on to nothing major. Nothing major, so it's not like going to the bars or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I'm good.
Yeah, me too.
You got the Oilers game though.
I got
Just careful because naturally DVD's going to go up to Tom and be like Kelly's, and Tommy will be like sure, and then they'll be at Kelly's, and you'll just careful going to Kelly's.
I'll throw the smoke bomb and disappear.
That's going to wrap up. 2 guys and a goalie shortly here for GS Construction. Zach has to figure out his headphones there. They're all tied up. Coming up next. EST Afternoons, Hernan and Gager. We got the Reed Wilkins Show with J-Mo. What's on the show today? I know you guys are doing resolutions. Because Hernan was, I think it's Hernan's World today.
Yeah, we're doing Heat and Smoke. He's got some questions for us. He do have Hernan's World
He
too.
spilt on his shirt. Hernan, what's on your shirt?
I spilled, so I just have to eat it.
Jesus.
Oh, like he has a massive water spot there.
He's really working hard. Brogan Houston from Deseret News Sports. And we'll probably just go look into the Utah game this evening. World Juniors is up. We'll and keep everyone updated on the scores. If you let us know if you want the scores or not. Some people record these games.
If you're listening to a sports station, you're going to get scores.
Yeah.
During the show, especially, just maybe quickly, spoiler alert. If you get to a Zach Sports Center update, he's not going to say spoiler alert. So EST Afternoons, Reed Wilkins Show, GCLT's Oil Stream pre and post game shows tonight. Tomorrow, no live shows. We do have on our audio stream best of EST drafts, and then we're back Monday morning. Lieutenant Eric with Dave Jameson. It just sounds right on YouTube, Trev. I'm Adam Wanek on behalf of Gager. Thanks for tuning in to 2 Guys and a Goalie. EST Afternoons coming up in just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere, and have a wonderful New Year.